Welcome to TeeBaggers, the podcast where golf meets a whole new level of attitude. I'm Dale Smedley, co-founder of Golf Gods, and I'm here to bring you behind the scenes of the brand, the sport, and the people who make golf more than just a game.
That's right. If you're here for stuffy country club talk, you might be in the wrong place. I'm Sean Trevelyan, mostly referred to as Bear, the co-founder of Golf Gods. And if you love golf and don't take life too seriously, then grab a drink, kick back, and join us for some stories, laughs, and maybe a few hot takes.
In this podcast, we're digging into all things Golf Gods, from the crazy idea that started it all to the wins, the struggles, and everything in between. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.
So whether you're a weekend warrior or just here for the banter, welcome to TeeBaggers, where golf is life, but not too serious.
Let's tee it up.
Welcome to another episode of the TeeBaggers podcast, the podcast where we mix golf with some banter and some fun stories. Today, we have a special guest in studio, an absolute legend of a bloke. He's a T20 superstar, international cricketer, Chris Lynn. Chris, thanks for coming on board.
Thanks for having me, lads. Nice warm welcome.
That's it. What an intro there by Barry. That's a great intro, mate. Well done. Thanks for coming on, Chris. Going to start with a couple golf questions and then we'll get into the cricket career. It is a golf podcast, but we are interviewing athletes and people that are at the top of their game that have a hobby for a liking of golf. So what I want to do is start off like, when did you first start playing golf? Where did the golfing start?
To be honest, I was maybe 10 or 11 years old. And much like cricket, I just want to hit the ball as far as I could. I want to try and hit it further than my mates. Like in cricket, trying to hit a six. I'm not trying to block the ball. Like that's boring.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So for me, it was about trying to bomb the ball as far as I could. Believe it or not, it actually helped my game of cricket too. So winding back the clock and having a thinking about it. And I've had a lot of injuries as well. So golf was always an easy way to release that tension if you were on the sidelines. But yeah, nice and young, always outdoors. My old man played water polo for Australia, so I was in the pool plenty as a kid. But yeah, golf, the way I put it, hitting a six is like you drive. But like a single is like you putt. So I'm shit at running singles, so I'm shit at putting.
Well, that was going to be our next question. So what comparisons do you have between cricket and golf? And that sounds like you've probably covered that pretty well.
Yeah, that's it. So you're trying to hit a six, you're trying to bomb the ball as far as you can, much like you're over the drive. And like what Bryson DeChambeau says, power creates power. So when you're at the range, you want to try and get that flexibility, that power, that velocity. So that's very similar there. As I said, the single is more as a mistime boundary.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
So
absolutely love that.
The putting, you're meant to get it closer. I'm hitting it off the green. But look, it's so fun, and for me, it's just about being outside, away from your phone. You're with nature, and a few F&C bombs come out, as you know, when you fall right. But it's just awesome being outside, mate.
Yeah, love it. Now, I know you've travelled the world for cricket, so it's probably given you a couple opportunities to play some awesome courses. Any favourite courses come to mind around the world?
As you said, I had the opportunity to travel the world, but I think Sage Valley stands out for me. Obviously, it's a very prestigious course, 15 minutes down the road from Augusta. Obviously, the Masters, the number one slam in the world, and for me, it's just the setting of it. Obviously courses and greens can vary. I'm not good enough to tell the difference between a good and a bad green.
The Sage Valley, is that the Tiger Woods one, or is it?
I don't believe so. But it's actually a great story. I believe the guy actually got rejected membership from Augusta.
Oh, did he?
I go even further back, and the guy he was building Walmarts. Okay. And basically, the Walmart overquoted, so he gave like $250,000 back. And he said, right, you can actually build all the Walmarts now. So that's when he built his own golf course, because he got rejected for Augusta up yours. And made my own. So I had the privilege of meeting him when I was over there. Hawthorn and the Brisbane Lions boys go over there every year, and just a fascinating they do it so much better over there.
They do.
I am Australian. I love Australian golf courses, but they do it so much better over there.
We've spoke about that on the podcast before, about how the hospitality and and all of that entertainment side of thing is run. It is very different to Australia, and we'd love to see it more in Australia, but I think it's still quite a way off, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it's quite a way. But so tell us about some memorable golf moments. What's some things that stand out to you when you think about golf?
Hole in one.
You got a hole in one?
No, I don't have one. I've seen one. But like watching your mate get a hole in one's just as good, right? If you haven't got one. So they're the memorable moments. I've just signed up at the Grand down the Gold Coast. Pretty prestigious course. I believe it's the number one golf course in Queensland. The likes of Jonathan Brown, Fatty Vorton. 3-time Melbourne Cup winner. Clean Boss is down there. Cameron Smith, the GOAT of rugby league.
Well, I'm waiting for the invite down there.
I look forward to it.
It made sense. I've just moved to the Sunshine Coast, which is another hour away. So, 2 hours just to play golf.
So your daily golf round's going to now take 8 hours instead of 4 hours.
Well, it already took 8 hours. That's what I told the missus anyway.
We heard one little story about a golf day in Intrapilli with your mate Deke and Koshy.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Any divots there on a par 3 that...
No, see, this is the thing. You guys, you do your research. I've done my own research on you blokes as well. So before you dig too deep, look, I was a little bit hungover. As part of the golf goals culture, that happens occasionally.
It does.
I just remember hitting this ball, and like if I'm straight down the camera here, the divot was just lining up at a right. And I'm thinking, what the fuck's happened here? Like, how can you miss? Like, you've done well to miss that bad, but. I don't take my golf seriously, right?
So
like, obviously, you compete, you want to win. You always have that competitive edge, but at no stage do we really get angry on the golf course. At the end of the day, you get paid to play cricket, not golf. It's out there to have fun, and if I can make someone else laugh, then I'm doing my job.
Legend.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who out of all the cricketers you've played with, who's the best golfer you've seen?
Well, everyone's heard about Ricky Ponting, Greg Blewett. James Hopes is a very handy golfer, but I think the most talented is Glenn Maxwell.
Is he really?
Yeah. We've seen him, on a couple of shows with his golf, and for me, he strikes the ball so far as well. He's a golf nuffy.
Is he?
Absolutely loves the game. But I think that, excuse me, brings what we see on the cricket field as well. Like how naturally talented he is. He actually doesn't give a shit. Like he's got no fear of failure.
Nah.
Whereas I can play in front of 50,000 people in the Big Bash, but I'm shitting myself if there's 4 blokes in the clubhouse watching me over the tee box. Whereas he does not care, and he actually soaks that up. So I think that's really, really awesome.
Yeah. Just to touch base on him, how was that catch the other day in the T20?
Yeah, but he made it look so easy.
It's so simple.
Easy. Casual, one hand, around you go. And you guys have a big viewership in America, and I reckon that's gone to America.
100%.
Yeah. I'm sure you pop a link up and add to this podcast, but it's just he does that for fun.
Yeah, it was just so natural, so easy. Then just trots off and goes, thanks, boys. Well done.
Yeah, that's right. And then he dropped a soda the other night. So, it's much like golf. Cricket is. It's so humbling.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, we've got to say that. So the impact on cricket, how does your golf? Has it influenced your cricket in any way, like concentration, technique? Has there been any crossover?
A little bit, yeah. Much like batting, muscle memory, your routine. It's a bit like I always refer to Rafa Nadal. Where he does the same routine when he's in first set to his 5th set, and he's 5 hours deep. He's always that routine, a bit like Steve Smith. In cricket. So having that muscle memory, that discipline to keep doing the same thing over and over again to potentially and get the same result. So for me, as I touched on earlier, I've had 2 shoulder recons. So for me, getting that range, golf was actually helping get my range back with cricket.
Yeah.
So I'd start with a pitching wedge one day at the range, and then as the weeks progressed, I'd move down to 7-iron, 5-iron, and get that range and that power. But it's just that, I suppose that rotation and that flexibility, golf definitely helps. But as I said earlier, it's just being outside. It's fun with your mates. It's relaxing, and you appreciate what you got in front of you.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what we love about golf. We're not the best golfers going around, but we do like to have a bit of fun, and that's what it's about. So it's probably a good introduction to lead into some cricket questions. I'd love to hear where cricket started for you. Do you want to give us an explanation on what?
Yep.
What
So I was about 7 or 8 years old. And one of my schoolmates just asked if I wanted to fill in because they were short. And I was like, yeah, all right, I'll give this cricket thing a go. I ended up hitting 3 6s and under 8s, which was unheard of. And I took a fucking hat trick as well.
So
for those who don't know what a hat trick is in America, it's 3 wickets and 3 balls. So I was like, this is pretty easy, this game. And then it just flowed on from there. But again, like I said, I just wanted to bomb the ball. That's why I just wanted to hit it further than anyone else. And I was actually rugby league before cricket. That was my number 1 sport. And, I realised I'd rather
Bashing
face
into
blokes
blokes.
that bowl 140 than tackle blokes that weigh 140.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much common sense for me. And I just feel like I had more longevity in cricket.
Yep.
And it's been an awesome journey. But as I said, my old man was very sporty, so he always outside. He actually built a cricket net down the side of my house, of his house, sorry. And flowed from there.
Beautiful.
Perfect. Love it. Tell us about your T20 debut for Brisbane, 2010, I believe it was. Big Bash was a really new concept at the time, and probably, personally, I'm a massive cricket fan, so I was not into the T20 initially like I am now. How was that debut, and what was the sort of feeling at the time of T20? Did you think it was going to be a thing? Did you think it was a flash in the pan?
At that time, people were a bit like, what the hell's going on? But I saw the crowds roll in, and they had to open up more gates on the night just to fill the stands.
Yep.
They weren't expecting it. The roll-in, walk-in crowd was just unbelievable. And, you got the greats of the game, Shane Warne, Andrew Simons, is, doing their thing in a fast format. And I don't know about you, but my attention span's pretty short. So, it just took the world by storm. And then the Indian culture, their love for cricket, it's a religion. So it just went boom. And we've seen over the years the IPL just go from strength to strength, and the Big Bash is trying to catch that. But for the debut, it got even rain, so it was a 9-over game. It was great. I only had to field 9 overs. It was like, fuck, this is perfect.
This is my cricket.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't even bat in my debut.
You didn't get a bat?
No, but
that sucks.
Yeah, it just took the world by storm, and we've seen it we see the product now, the Big Bash. It's awesome. First of all, it's a great time of year. It's Christmas time, school holidays. So I've always said, how do you grow the game of cricket? And for me, the way the female game's going and the little girls that are playing is just, going through the roof. And so that's something that I feel like I've been a part of in the blueprint of growing the game. So that's probably the most rewarding thing. Yep. It's you want to win and hit sixes or whatnot, but we're essentially just gatekeepers for the game of cricket. Yep. How can we provide, a platform for the next generation? And I think we're doing that pretty well.
No, but you're absolutely right. The T20 has taken off, and it's for someone that doesn't really love cricket and all that sort of stuff. I do enjoy watching it and that short form and things like that. But one of my greatest memories of you playing 2020 cricket was you hitting the ball on the roof at the Gabba. Yeah. Tell me about that shot.
Oh, mate, where do I start? So Sean Tate, and I've got to say, Tatey's one of the best blokes you'll ever meet. Yep. But he's one of the most scariest blokes. Yep. And they call him the wild thing, right? So I'm not sure he exactly knows where they're going. So how the fuck am I supposed to know? No, he runs in, and I just remember we were chasing a decent total. I was batting with Bash brother, Brendan McCullum, and we've seen him. We know what he does for New Zealand. He's changed New Zealand cricket, and now he's changed England cricket as a coach. And just Tatey's running in. I'm thinking, fuck, this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt. Yeah, where's it going? This is going to hurt. And I've got this big lump of wood in my hand, and I've got to sort of say and get them before they get you. And generally, first ball, someone's spell, they try and hit the top of off stump, more likely than not. And I just thought I'm going to take it on and premeditate my swing because he's bowling that far. So I just premeditate it. And then when I caught it, when I whacked it, I was like, it's gone straight up in the air. But then it just kept going. So
you actually thought you skied it?
Yeah.
It's got to be one of the biggest hits in T20,
yeah, so it's and then I walked down, I see it land on the roof, and only like two other blokes have done it, Dan Christian and Brett Lee. Yep. So I was like, pretty cool to add to that list. And I thought, it's not a bad moment, right? I walked down to Baz McCullum, and he's like, not bad. I was like, not bad. Like,
and he's pretty good
himself. Thing on the roof. But we still had a big job at hand to do. Yeah. Obviously, team first mentality. So, mate, awesome moment. And it pops up all the time on Instagram. I reckon you get tagged in daily. Yeah. But, they're the moments that you look back on and you go, those little light bulb sliding door moments that just keep you there. Yeah. I mean, I'm not the most consistent bloke in the world, but I'm there for views.
So it's like bombing that drive on hole 18. You play shit all day, you get to hole 18, you're fucking ready to quit golf.
That's it.
You bomb a drive down the middle, and you're like, I fucking love this
game.
I'm
back.
I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah, I've already raised the century on hole 13, but I'm back.
Well, so would that be your highlight, or do you have what's your BBL highlights?
Obviously winning the comp in year 2. Yep. And BBL 2 is...
do you get reunions for that?
No, not this stage. We had a 10-year last year, But there was obviously I've left Brisbane, so I'm just trying to work a few things out there. But
you made it last night or the other night.
Yeah, that's right. Actually took me 3 years to beat Brisbane since I moved as well. So about time we did that. But anytime you score 100 as well.
So you got a T20 100?
T20 100 for Brisbane at the Gabba.
Yep.
There was another game I got 98 not out. And at the Wacker, the old scoreboard, I'm not a great reader, right? So it's a bit hard to read. And a lot of numbers. And I was smoking. I think me and McCullum hit, I hit 11 sixes that game and he bombed a few and we chased 160 down in bugger all time. I remember he names his bats after his favourite racehorses. So I think it was like either Sunline or Winks. Yep. And I remember he broke the bat and you'd be able to find the footage and the bat come flying towards me at the other end. So I was like, his favourite bat gone. But then I've gone 6 and then 6 again. And then I was like, mate, I'm just going to knock in here and get a 2. And I'm going to get 100. He's like, bros, game's over. Yeah. I was like, fuck. You're joking. Yeah.
What a stitch up.
But yeah, that's the way it goes. But as I say, you get the win, put the team first.
Yep.
All that garbage. So
beautiful.
But yeah, plenty of moments. So a couple of IPL moments as well where you take a classic catch here and there. They just absolutely. I remember my first game for the Kolkata Knight Riders. I was batting with Jack Scullis, who I believe is the greatest cricketer this earth's seen.
Yep.
And I was on debut and playing Virat Kohli. So he's in at short cover. And I've gone bang and it's hit the edge of the wicket block and it's bounced up. It's hit him straight in the cheek and it's pissing blood everywhere. So I got a few runs as well. And but the amount of death threats I got.
From Indian fans.
Killing King Kohli.
Yeah,
it wasn't pretty. But I took AB de Villiers, it was like 6 to win off 2 balls. And I took this catch on the boundary. And I was like, I slipped over and made it look harder than what it was, naturally. But yeah, those little moments that put you on the map and, kick stuff from there.
One other quick highlight I wanted to touch on. We heard it on the cricket commentary a couple of weeks ago involving your old coach up at the Brisbane Heat, Boof Lehman. Do you want to tell us about that little story and what your part in was with that?
Oh, Boofer, the prankster.
Yeah.
The prankster.
Yeah. Oh, shit, where do I start? So Boofer... It might have been in a Sheffield Shield. Like we had a lot of success under Boof as coach. He come up, we won the one-day comp, the Big Bash, and the Sheffield Shield. And it might have been the year we won the Sheffield Shield. And Ben Cutting and Ronan McDonald were in there. I think might have been making his debut for Ronan, and he didn't mind a prank now and again too. And Boof, as we know, loves his durries and or out his triple bypass or. What we did, we got his ciggies, right? Took out the tobacco. And you know those sparklers that kids waving around and whatnot? We got all the, what do you call it?
The little dynamite stuff.
Dynamite ash stuff and filled it in and then put the tobacco on the end. So Bull's there. The next one, and no shit, we burned his hand. The poor bastard. We burned his hand. He's got fucking blisters everywhere.
Did you ever smoke again?
Yeah, and then so what he's done is we're playing club cricket the next day, and he's put Ronan's car on car sales for fuck all. And I'm playing cricket. I'm in the same club team as this guy, and all these cars are rocking up to the ground. Like, what the fuck's going on? Like, we're here to see Ronan with his car. Yeah, and he's out there bowling, and he doesn't know what the fuck's going on. And so all these blokes are rocked up to try and buy his car, check it out, like fancy car, and you wouldn't believe the phone calls that he got. Like,
so Buffer's put his car on car sales.
Cheap as chips. It's a brand new Holden thing. 40 grand. He's put it in there for probably 18. It's 6 months old.
The phone hasn't stopped ringing.
Yeah,
so don't fuck around with Buff.
No,
mate. I remember like Steve McGoffin, who played for Queensland, he was walking out to bat and his box kept falling through. His Buff fucking cut the bottom of his jockstrap. He's number 11, so he can't bat anyway. But imagine as a number 11, you got this bat. You don't know what to do with a bat anyway. And you got your box falling through. So go figure. But we love the Buffer.
Yeah, love the Buffer. Great South Australian. So
that's right.
Nah, very good. One of my favourite nicknames of the thing is Linsanity. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about it? And you know where it came from?
Well, there was a basketball, I believe, in America. Someone Lynn.
Yep.
Obviously, and then just stemmed from that.
Just stem.
Someone said it a basketball fan. I'm not massive into American sport, but obviously one player was, and then hit a few sixes and a tweet goes out and away you
Took
go. Yeah, but it's I mean, a bit like when Maxwell, the Big Show type thing.
Yeah.
You don't spruik your own nickname, but they're saying it means you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Right. And as I said, I always go back to growing the game. If we're attracting new people because of that, then when I'm not just winning, everyone's winning.
Yeah, 100%. I think plenty of people are going to watch you, going to the game to watch you just hit sixes. So great nickname, and I love it.
Yeah,
the flip side, you get a duck and it's like, fuck. Yeah, which happens more than
No messages coming through.
Tell us a bit about what it was like playing for Australia, getting to tour and, the one-days and T20's for the national team.
Playing for Australia, that's the pinnacle, right? And I had the privilege to play T20 one-day cricket for Australia, so not quite there for Test cricket, but for me, it was just a proud moment. It's your childhood dream, right? Yep. As a kid, and cricket is Australia's biggest sport, and to be able to put yourself in the best 11 in the country is a special moment. So,
absolutely.
It's awesome, but just the professionalism around it, the people you get to meet, but the pressure that comes with it is not easy as well. So, had some good days, had some bad days, but it was just awesome. So much fun. So for any kid out there, playing for Australia is the goal, is the ultimate.
Yep.
I know there's IPL, and I went down a T20 pathway franchise, but I got a taste for playing for Australia. And do I look back and regret it sometimes? But my body also wasn't, up to scratch to play for Australia. As I said, my shoulders weren't there, and I believe if you're to play for your country, you've got to be 100% fit. Yep. There's enough good players, enough depth in our system to pick someone that's 100% fit. So, but the coaching and the mateship that you meet, like winning a game for Australia and singing that song, fuck, it's cool.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah. Who were the blokes in your team when you were playing? Who was the group of players? Obviously Smith and
Smith, Warner. The core: Paddy Cummins, Hazelwood, Starkey. Heady, Aaron Finch. Boof was coach. JL was coach. Ricky Ponting was around the group. Shane Watson was around the group. These are legends of Australian sport, right? Yep. Not just in cricket, they're legends of Australian sport. And we've got a proud sporting culture here in Australia. So they're household names, and to rub shoulders with them, so cool. So cool. And did I play my best cricket? Probably not. And could I probably do a better job now? Maybe. But the kids now coming through, they're so talented. Like, the game never goes backwards. Like, they're stronger. They're hitting the ball 360 degrees.
You see that Sam Constas come out and hit Bumrah for boxing shots.
But again, how many of the Greek community like cricket until then? He's just changed the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. One of the things, I did a little bit of research about how many teams you'd play for, and I know I probably haven't quite got them all, but I've got 16 on my list. I'm going to run through them. We've got Australia, Queensland, Brisbane Heat, Adelaide Strikers, Deccan Chargers, Kolkata Knight Riders, Mumbai Indians, Lahore Calandras, Moulton Sultans, Ganyan Amazon Warriors, Silk Kilts and Nevs Patriots, Jamaican Talawars, the Tobago Knight Riders, North Hampshire Stillbacks, North Superchargers, Jaffa Kings and Team Abu Dhabi. Have I nearly covered them all?
So you're about 10 short.
Gosh, shit. He's a gun for hire, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. More clubs than Tiger.
Out of that list, is there any one of those clubs that really stand out that they were doing something different, that it was a real...
We'll obviously take out the representative stuff, take out the Aussie side. The Kolkata Knight Riders. So I was at that franchise for 6 years, but that was every team wants to be a family culture.
Right.
It's one family. But in T10, when you're there for 2 weeks, that's a load of shit. But I was at Kolkata for 6 years, and the IPL's a long period of time, and that was like a family. Mumbai Indians in the IPL very much like Kolkata as well. They're probably the two standouts for me. And then Brisbane Heat as well. I didn't have as much success as I would have liked at Brisbane, but having been a big blueprint for the team, and that's home for us as well. So ever since I left, I've sort of had a couple of issues here and there, but Brisbane's always been home, and I've always been grateful for that opportunity. So never burn a bridge. You might go back there in the future, whether that's coaching capacity or whatever it may be. But those two IPL teams stood out for me. And any team I got to play under with Boof as well, because he made that culture.
The culture.
Right. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
How would you go listing off all your teammates from 26 clubs that you've played for?
I've got your two names.
So we've touched on death threats for hitting King Coley and that, but can you tell us a bit more about the experience of the IPL and like the Indian fans? We know how much they love their cricket. Like, what was it like playing in front of massive crowds? What was the biggest crowd? Like, can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so I've been at the IPL for 10 years. I haven't been the last 2 years, but the dynamic of how it's changed from hit and giggle T20 and after parties.
Yep.
It used to be like my first year there, you basically play the game and there's a lot of money on offer. So you still take the game pretty seriously. But then after the game, there's cheerleaders, models, like model shows, everything, like just massive after party. But that dynamic change only lasted probably 3 or 4 years because there was so much money involved. Yeah. And the crowds are unbelievable. Like we won my second year at Kolkata, or first year at Kolkata, we won the comp. Obviously, the final was massive, but we went back to Kolkata, 100,000 inside Eden Gardens, 100,000 outside. And it's like, wow. Yeah, and like you've had a few scoops, like celebrating. I just remember, myself and Paddy Cummins just thinking, wow, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then in a game, playing against Sachin Tendulkar in Mumbai, couldn't hear. Like, we wouldn't be able to talk like this on the field. You're trying to warm up, you're trying to get some plans in order. No chance when he's out there.
Yeah.
And it's like the best thing is they're all sober. Like, not a drop of alcohol in the thing. Yeah, just absolutely mad.
And just
MAD.
going nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't see that sort of thing in Australia. Imagine Adelaide Oval with no beer.
Oh no, I'm not going.
We wouldn't go.
No, you're not going. But it's but that's just the way sport is. Like it always evolves, as I touched on, and the money that's involved, it's next level. And the IPL, I think it's the second biggest sport in the world. Cricket. Yep. And half the world wouldn't even know what cricket is.
Nah, that's right.
So that's how
I reckon
big it
a lot
is.
of our American viewers will be like, what the fuck is cricket?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So, who's Virat Kohli?
Yeah.
They would be saying that, whereas that's just putting into perspective how big it is in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, the subcontinent.
Yeah,
cool.
Awesome. Now, one of the things I did notice about you the other night when you were warming up, very explosive hitting and just like constant. It wasn't just one ball and stand back up, get ready again. It was very explosive. Tell us about the power hitting that it takes to hit those enormous sixes for the young kids at home that are looking to get into cricket.
Yeah, I guess like I touched on, Bryson DeChambeau did a power hitting thing at the range.
Yep.
Power creates power. So if you want to concentrate on blocking the ball, you'll get better at blocking the ball. If you want to concentrate on hitting sixes, you've got to challenge yourself. You need those fast switch fibres. And that's 90% of my game. So for me, it's all about getting in the nets, doing everything with quality. You know, people can say I hit balls for 2 hours. It's 5 days a week.
Yep.
That's great. It was a quality shit. I can't do that because I'll just break. You know, when you're trying to whack every ball over the ropes and you go in there with a purpose, you can't sustain that for a long period of time. So for me, always ask myself, what's the purpose of this session? It actually might just be watching the ball, and I might have a session where I'm just hitting it under my eyes, getting in. It might be using my feet, or it might be power. Yep. So everything's done with a purpose. So for me, in the warm-up, as you would have seen, it's fast hands, turning on those fast switch fibres, because I know I've got a ball coming at me 140 kilometres an hour, 150 kilometres an hour. I've got to be on ball one. Because as a batter, unfortunately, you make one mistake, you're gone. Yep. That's your night done. All these people that come and watch you, they're in your DMs going, what the fuck? So training how you play, I'm big on that. Yep. And trying to hit the ball. I know if I mistime it and it can still go over the ropes. Yep. So that's why you're working in the gym. And when you're in the gym, doing everything with power. It's not just a split squat, it's a jump squat. Yep. If it's a chin up, you're catching yourself. If it's a push up, it's a clap push up. So everything involves velocity and power. Yep. And at the end of the day, cricket's a reactive sport. So it might be ping pong, but that's for your eyes. It might be those blaze pods that light up. It's just trying to do what you do in a game.
Yeah, no, that's some great advice there for anyone to take on board.
Yeah, love that. Talked about this real briefly as well, but fast bowlers. So as a batsman, you've faced your share of fast bowlers. Who's the scariest, and talk us through what it was like?
Apart from Tatey.
Well, having played for Australia, the scariest is the Australian training sessions.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Because you got the nets either side. The pitches aren't always that great. You've got Stark, Hazelwood, Cummings, Jimmy Pattinson, Ryan Harris, these blokes running in at you, and it's like, it's scary. You go to Mumbai Indians, when Rohit Sharma and Quinton de Kock are the openers, they're not big on nets. They just rather the sidearm, the dog stick.
Yep.
So who has to go in there? Me.
Yep.
Who's bowling? Jasper Bumrah.
Yeah.
Fuck. We all know how good he is.
Yeah.
And he trains how he plays.
Yep.
And he's not shy of a bouncer.
Yeah.
So it does get a bit hairy, but you challenge yourself. Brett Lee was another one. They just know the game so well, and it's more times than not, it's where the ball's going to go, but their execution is just so good. And the difference I found between domestic level, international level, like Rabada, these guys from South Africa, you might hit them for 20 off and over, off the 5 balls, and they'll still try and get you out the 6 ball.
Yeah.
And then they've won the over.
Yeah.
Rather than in domestic, they will just try and bowl wide, get out of the over, 21 runs off the over.
Yep.
They keep coming at you in international cricket. So, it's challenging, but if you're in that Australian system, you only get better because it's harder in the training sessions.
Yeah, that's some good advice. Who's the? I think he's a Pakistani. He was around when Tatey was bowling. He was
Shoaib Akhtar.
Shoaib Akhtar.
Yeah.
Did you face him?
Nah, no thanks. I did face Wasim Akram in the nets a few times. He was at Kolkata. What a genius.
Yeah.
These guys changed the game.
Yeah.
Right? They're just that era of cricket. That's why people ask who's your favourite cricketer. It's like that Australian team. They were all good.
Yeah.
And in the backyard, you Brett Lee one day, you Shane Warne the next.
Yeah. Yep.
You Adam Gilchrist. He changed the game.
Yep.
You Tendulkar, you Ricky Ponting. Like it just never ends. I got to play with Freddie Flintoff.
Yeah.
What a rock star.
Yeah.
And the king, Shane Warne. You don't get much better than that.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you've got, obviously the career is coming to the back end.
Mm-hmm.
What's your aspirations in the cricket circle? Coaching a possibility?
Yep, absolutely. I love coaching.
Yep.
Love giving back. With the franchise opportunities to coach in T10, T20 mobs around the world, there's so many opportunities. But I feel like I'm a good judge of watching batters and whatnot, and I've been lucky enough to captain a lot of teams, so I feel like my cricket IQ as such is pretty good.
Yep.
Outside of that, I've got a business called Playbook, which is basically an online booking platform, Uber for sports coaches.
Is it
so,
really?
Yeah, so we've got about 1,400.
Australia-wide?
Australia-wide. We've got about 1,400 coaches.
Yep.
Australia-wide in all sports.
Yep.
Find a coach, book a coach, pay for a coach, done.
That's
in your
awesome.
area. So you type in Adelaide cricket and all the cricket coaches pop up.
Yep.
Coaches name, their own price, time, location, bang. And we're the booking platform. So we take 15%. We cover insurance, things like that. So it's something, game of cricket doesn't owe me anything. I owe the game of cricket. But now I can do that in every sport. So it's pretty cool. And we're doing some really good things with Playbook at the moment. And it's exciting. And that keeps me busy. And I firmly believe that's why I've had success playing cricket, because I am coaching kids. So you got to do what you preach, and also it gives me that work-life balance as well.
Yeah, 100%. You do come across as you actually genuinely love the game, and a lot of professional sportsmen might just want to get away from it and leave it. But you definitely got a love for the game. So I'm going to check the Playbook out, and might get my kids a coach in some direction.
You're going to get in coaching, do you?
He's going to be a Linny, smacking sixes.
I heard you're a tight ass though, so you don't want to pay that.
I warn my kid he's not allowed to play ramp shots until he plays for Australia. So I don't want to see it. Learn to play properly before you go slogging like that.
And just before we finish off, he's a bit of a, you're going to try and bat all day type of operator.
I can hit a big six, mate. Don't worry about that. But also bowl to me.
But I'm a left arm quick, and I just fucking...
I heard you had a shit left foot on the AFL field as well.
Just quickly back to your plan before we wrap it up. Did you have a bunny bowler? Someone that when they got the pill, you were like, bang, I'm on here. I just know this is going.
Generally a youngster on debut. But there is a clip where I hit 5 sixes. In an over at the MCG off Ben Hilfenhaus.
Yep.
Again, Hilfy's a lovely fella.
Yep.
Australia played Test cricket for Australia.
No, played a lot. Played a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, he's down in Hobart.
Yep.
But the first ball that he bowled to me, it was like kicked up off a length. So I was like, oh, here we go again.
He's on here.
Yeah. And so you take the game on. But I suppose that's just your mindset as well. And even on the flip side, blokes that get me out a lot. you change that mindset of just take the game on, and it actually works wonders how well you do. Rather than being shit scared or losing sleep at night. Rashid Khan's bowling to me is an absolute wizard. Or Murali. It's like, mate, he's got my number, but how can I change his game plan? I try and use that in everyday life stuff as well. If you're under the pump, just say fuck it and take it on. What's the worst that's going to happen? In a game of cricket, drop a catch, get a duck. Well, guess what? I get another opportunity in a couple of days' time. And that's it. So that's like the way I try and do things in life now. And it's amazing how much more relaxed I am and how much more fun I have.
Yeah, no, that's some awesome advice. Even in business, I think people can take that on and get a little bit of stress of whether, things are not going their way, and you can just either sit there and dwell on it, or you can just move on and
get on
think
with it
positive and things like that. It's actually probably the answer to my very last question. What advice do you have to young cricketers that are looking to get into the game and be the next Chris Lynn?
Go have fun. Excuse me. But first of all, as I said, I played all sports. Don't just count yourself as a cricketer. Because cross-training, like being rugby league as a kid, I feel like I got stronger, and that's why I can hit the ball maybe a little bit further than other guys, because you've got that cross-code training. So don't just pigeonhole yourself into one sport. And I always say one thing, don't count the days. Mate, the days count.
Yes.
There might be big plans coming up. There's Live Golf coming up in 2 weeks. 4 weeks. Don't just wait for that. There's a lot of stuff in between to build up and be the best you can, or whatever it may be.
So we're going to see you down at Live Golf this year. We did see you last year.
You're
back again?
I'll be back down again, doing some work.
That's what we do. We work.
That's right. No, what a great event. And the Rippers GC taken home last year. What a great finish.
That was awesome.
To see, mate, and privileged to call him a mate in Cam Smith to lift that trophy is pretty cool. You got Dom Dollar the Friday night, Fisher on the Sunday.
How good.
It's going to be epic.
All right, it sounds like we've got a weekend ahead of us with Linny on the Live Adelaide event. So thanks a lot for coming on. That's all we've got for you today, but some great insight on what it takes to be a professional athlete. And I know a lot of cricketers love their golf as a sort of a hobby sport. So thanks for coming on.
Thanks, lads.
Beautiful. Thank you.